Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Say, man, look, evidently the stars are aligning, the planets are aligning. Somebody has been listening to our wishes and all the good things that we've been hoping and wishing for. Now, I know this is the Cowboy Huddle, but you guys know I'm from the DFW area. And before I get started, I gotta say welcome, Kyrie Irving, the Dallas Mavericks. Come on now, y'all heard what I said. Welcome, Kyrie Irving, to the Dallas Mavericks. Let's go. Turn it up. Yeah. Hey. Woo. We're gonna get into the Cowboy talk. We're gonna get to the Cowboy talk in just a minute, but I got to talk about this. Come on, man. You have added a dynamic duo together. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Turn it up again. Oh, oh, I know it, man. I'm excited. I support everything that's in the DFW. That's just who I am. We got now we got the what USFL coming up. Come on, man. I'm gonna be at the game. The Renegades, I think that's their name now. But yeah, I support everything that's in the DFW area. So again, it is what it is. But I got to welcome Kyrie Irving to Dallas. Yeah, so I'm excited, y'all. I'm not only just excited with the Dallas man, but I am excited with this Dallas Cowboy team, y'all. I don't think we understand the transition that's getting ready to transpire right before our eyes. Now, I did a little video earlier on TikTok about how it was time to make changes. And as far as Kellen Moore's offensive play call and how it didn't actually help Dak, which Dak didn't help himself either, but it was time for a change. So here we are. We have Mike McCarthy calling the plays, in which we might see a lot of new faces. We might see people that we thought would be going to be here, might not be here. So there's a whole big change taking place, and sometimes change is good. And I think this is for the betterment of the team. And I know a lot of people are still wondering outside of the Cowboy huddle, and some people in the Cowboy huddle, talking about Dan Quinn. Do we not know how fortunate we are to have Dan Quinn here with the organization? Some are saying, well, yeah, Dan Quinn should have took the head coaching job. Dan Quinn, why wouldn't you take the head coaching job? Well, you got a head coaching job offer and you don't take it. Well, what we fail to realize is Dan Quinn has been a head coach. He have experience being a head coach. And basically, from his experience, he has already said many times before that defense is his passion. Being on the field with his players, the defensive players, and being a head coach comes a lot of responsibility that takes you away from focusing on one side of the ball. So let's go into how we got Dan Quinn to stay here with us. So this is reported by the Dallas Morning News. Basically says, just the activity that's been going on with Dan Quinn. It says on Thursday, January 26th, Dan Quinn committed to return to Dallas in 2023. A person familiar with the situation told the Dallas Morning News. McCarthy later announced his return after his press conference Quinn had an interview scheduled with the Indianapolis coach for January 28th. On Wednesday, January 25th, the Arizona Cardinals interviewed Quinn a second time for their head coaching opening, vacated by Cliff Kingsbury. On Saturday, January 21st, the Cardinals request the first interview as a head coaching gig. On the 20th, the Denver Broncos interviewed Quinn in person for the head coaching position. On the 17th of January, the coach request. So here we are. So this man have interviewed and had opportunities to take different organizations up on their offer. But Dan Quinn decides to stay put. And financially, I think he's going to be okay. So people are saying that Dan Quinn should have took the head coaching job and but again, there comes a lot of responsibility with the head coaching job. Same thing with McCarthy. He's going to find out being a head coach and calling plays, but maybe he has experience in doing that. So I'm sure he will adapt to it any which way he can. And also let's welcome. Also, we've got to remember. I forgot to mention. Welcome Brian Schottenheimer as the OC of the Dallas Cowboys. Which Brian Schottenheimer has been hanging around the organization. He had been brought in as a consultant of the team, so they stayed within house, and brought Brian Schottenheimer in as the offensive coordinator. So, welcome and congratulations to Brian Schottenheimer. So, we're definitely going to see a whole different look with this offense. Now we're still looking for a quarterback's coach for Dak, and I'm sure Mike McCarthy would be that one to also that will, teach Dak. There's still some room for improvement for Dak from what we've seen. But again, this video is particularly dealing with Dan Quinn and how fortunate we are to have Dan Quinn to return as our defensive coordinator. We can look at the defensive coordinator over for the 49ers. And I've always said, just because you are a good defensive coordinator, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a great coach. Why isn't that a defensive coach could be hired for another defensive position with more money? Don't know. So as close as the 49ers were, it's not looking too good. Now they got to find a quarterback and they have to find a defensive coordinator. So that could have been us. And that's the reason I say that's why we're so fortunate to have Dan Quinn here with us. Knowing that we're going through the transition on this offensive side of the ball and then trying to bring in a new defensive coordinator. Oh my gosh. That could definitely been a setback. But because he decided to stay, we are very fortunate as Cowboy fans to have Dan Quinn to return for 2023. And as far as the 49ers, the setback has begun. So, again, I know there's people out there that's saying that Dan Quinn should have taken a head coaching job, and sure enough, there was a lot of organization that wanted Dan Quinn, but Dan Quinn decided to stick to where his passion lies, and that's being on the field with his defensive players and being able to coach them up. So again, we are fortunate as Cowboy fans to have Dan Quinn still a part of this organization. And also a big shout out to Mike McCarthy for stepping in and taking on the responsibilities to making this offense go. Yeah. So I'm excited. So I want you guys to stick around. I'm not gonna hold you any longer. I got some draft picks that I've been doing some research on. So we're definitely going to start talking about our draft picks. We're going to start looking at, going back, looking at the Senior Bowl and some of the prospects that was out there that I thought that would definitely can help us. So we'll be talking about that on next later this week. Later this week, we'll be starting looking into the draft prospect, working our way up to the combine, and we'll have some names out there so we can look at, and then we'll go right into the draft. So again, I want to say thank you to everybody that's a part of this channel, that support this channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please do me a favor. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification button so you will be notified when the next video is posted. So with that being said, I'm not going to take much more of your time. I'm going to keep moving, but I just want to just get on here and congratulate Kyrie Irving and for being a part of Dallas, and to say how fortunate we are as Cowboy fans to have Dan Quinn as our defensive coordinator. Hey, we're there, guys. We just got to do a little tweaking. I think the year is going to be good for us. It's your boy G, the #1 Cowboy fan, Hampton.